Hello and welcome to another UCL Fantasy Team Selection video. We are back once again, this time for Matchday 3. If you watched the other team selection video a couple weeks ago for Matchday 2, you'll know that I used the Wildcard last week in a matchday where a lot of people would have used their Limitless chips. You can see on the right of your screen there as well how well I done. And again, it was kind of a fairly average game week. There was nothing really too stand out about it. 70 points you'll see down below, and then you'll see just below me as well how I'm getting on in terms of the rank and stuff. So 39k right now, which I think is pretty respectable. It's a big jump from Matchday 1 from about 140k. So 39k I'm pretty happy with. We're also looking at 123rd in Scotland as well, which I'm pretty happy with, but only used the wildcard last week, so we do still have the Limitless to use in Matchday 4, which is hopefully what's going to boost the rank right up. But as I said, we used the wildcard last week in a game week or in a match day where most people used the Limitless chip. And from what I've seen on Twitter, most people with the Limitless teams kind of got about the same points as me anyway, and that's really what I was aiming towards, to be honest. It was as I said, it was one of those weeks where none of the big hitters really done too much, which was good for those of us that used the wildcard. Because everyone who used Limitless wouldn't have got that many points. So looking at Twitter, I was outscoring people using the Limitless. I was just kind of in and about there, and I'm quite happy with the way the 70 points worked. It was once again kind of carried by the defence, the same as Matchday 1. A lot of clean sheets and a couple of assists coming from the defenders as well. Romagnoli picking up an assist, Maligna picking up an assist as well, and then Dumfries and Cancelo also getting good points. So we're hoping for the same again, and it's one of those ones where the defence has been playing fantastic, and a couple of goals from the strikers in both match days. I'd have been looking at nearly up to 100 points, so it's definitely going well so far, and I'm very, very happy with the way things are going. Of course, Bellingham being the player of the week in my team again. I think that's the second week in a row that's happened, so he could end up being a captaincy option for this week. I believe it's Braga away he plays in Matchday 3, so definitely going to be considered for a lot of people, but again, as I said, it was quite disappointing for captaincies with Kane and Haaland both blanking, but we can hope to turn that around. But again, like I said, 70 points with Kane and Haaland blanking, your two biggest players in the team, you really can't complain about that. But let's take a look at what we're going to be doing for Matchday 3. So if you've been keeping up with the videos, you know that the chip strategy I'm going for is Wildcard in Matchday 2 and Limitless in Matchday 4, which means this week is kind of just a in the middle game week where we're looking to just use the free transfers that are available. So obviously we have two free transfers to use. I'm only going to be using one of them this week, and it's going to be Romagnoli to Rom. Now I did have a good look at the players that basically players that I could possibly take out. Molina was one of those because he was taking up a lot of the budget. I was possibly looking at taking out Saka as well against Sevilla, but ended up deciding against it because I'm going to want him back for Matchday 5 and 6, and I think it's probably just a bit silly. I'm not too sure how it works with rolling transfers when you're using a chip in the next match day, so I don't know if me rolling one transfer this week is going to roll on to Matchday 5 and I'm going to have 3 to use in Matchday 5. If that is the case, then perfect, because that's when I'm going to be wanting to use my transfers. That always was the plan anyway, so if anyone does know what really happens with that, please let me know down in the comments section. But again, we are going to be rolling, and if I don't get to carry that on, then it is just going to be a burnt transfer. I don't want to use the transfers for no reason. But Romagnoli to Rom, it feels like an easy pick. I think Rom has Red Star this week before moving on to Man City in Matchday 5, but I'm happy to do that. I think Lazio's fixtures aren't the best and their form hasn't been unbelievable this season. Rom's obviously more likely to pick up some returns than Romagnoli is. I was very lucky to pick up an assist for him in Matchday 2, so I feel like it's a very easy transfer. I don't have to worry about any of the cash. I would have preferred to go for Henriks, but he has risen in price to 4.6, so I don't have enough money in the bank for that one. But for me, I think that's a pretty straightforward transfer for me. And again, I did set the whole wild card up in Matchday 2 basically to attack the Matchday 3 fixtures, so everything's well set up in my team, and I'm very happy with the way things are looking right now. And this is how we're looking for match day 3 then. Again, only one transfer used, which means I'll be rolling one over. In terms of the goalkeepers, Reznik is someone, again, I think I explained it in my last team selection video. He's really just there for the budget pick. I'm not really expecting any points from him. If he does get any points, it's probably going to be saves, but Barcelona away obviously is one of the most difficult fixtures you can get. But the whole point in picking this duo was because Sommer plays first in every match day, so I can hope for the clean sheet that Inter are very known for, and Salzburg at home is another one that you would hope for a clean sheet from. Again, we are doubling up on the Inter defence this time with Sommer and Dumfries. I did make a last minute change last week. If you follow me over on Twitter, you would have seen that. I did have DeMarco in the team selection video and just switched him last minute to Dumfries. I feel like Dumfries is just more nailed in there, and I didn't really want to worry about the rotation between Augusto and DeMarco, and I feel like DeMarco and Dumfries do kind of have the same output anyway, so I feel like I'd just prefer to go with the more nailed player. But again, I'm hoping for the clean sheet in with those two, and then I don't have to worry about even considering Reznik for night 2. In terms of the defence, we are going back to Leipzig after having none of them in matchday 2 with Man City. I feel like it's another one they could easily keep a wee clean sheet there against Red Star, and hopefully we know with the Leipzig fullbacks they can get some good attacking returns in there. Cancelo, Davies, Molina, 3 players, all at 6 million. Again, we are heavy on the defence, and it has been working out very nicely. That is where most of my points have came from. I feel like Molina, he came off the bench in the 45th minute at half time over the weekend and picked up another assist, so he is definitely capable of getting some attacking returns as well, and I think he should be nailed on. I think especially with the half of football rest over the weekend. Cancelo, we know how good he is. Shakhtar at home, absolutely nailed on for me. Could easily get a goal or two in that game, and you would hope for a clean sheet as well. And then finishing it off with Davies against Galatasaray. I did just want the good triple up from Bayern, the best 3 that you can get, and Davies is in there hopefully to pick up an attacking return as well. So looking at the midfield then, we have just stayed the same throughout as matchday 2. Bellingham, Sané, Saka, again 3 of the best midfielders you can get. Again, we are looking at our enablers in Baronezia and Kubo, who really have just allowed me to go for the big defenders and the big midfielders. And again, those 2 enablers are very capable of picking up some returns as well. I think Kubo was very unfortunate last week. I think he did maybe pick up an assist but wasn't counted as an assist kind of thing, or maybe I can't really remember what happened. It was a few weeks ago. Something happened in the first 5 minutes of the game where I think actually Berenetsia hit the post and Kubo would have got the assist is what happened, so it was very close to being fantastic. But Bellingham again, fantastic. You can't not have Bellingham in your team. I feel like everyone will and should have him. Sané again, kind of similar. You just want the good Bayern players. They do have the best fixtures in the group stages in my opinion, so again, just good to have those. It is worth noting as well that pretty much, well, it is slightly different with the Barca and Inter, but pretty much most of these teams and most of the teams with good fixtures in matchday 3 do have an away fixture, which was the reason that I didn't go for a limitless in matchday 3 and went for matchday 4 instead. Most of the good fixtures are away, obviously with the exception of Inter, Leipzig, Barca, those kind of teams. But you see there, I've literally got 8-9 players with away fixtures. So it's probably going to be one of those ones where you expect a lot of points and it's probably just going to be a little bit less. Might end up being a bit of a low scoring game week or match day again. Saka, he is just on great form. Sevilla away, after a defeat to Lens, you would expect Arsenal to bounce back there, especially with the comeback against Chelsea as well. Saka, Odegaard, maybe Trossard as well. I'm not really too sure what's happening with Trossard and Martinelli, but Saka and Odegaard definitely looking like good picks, especially for long term. match day 5 and 6, etc. Are looking like very good fixtures, so that's why we have Saka in there. Baronetsia again, 4.5 million, just there as an enabler. Probably the best. Him and Ivanusic looking like the two best enablers there. I think as long as you've got one of them, you should be able to do very well in terms of getting the big hitters in your team. And then we have Thuram again, who also scored at the weekend. Him and Martinez are both on fire right now, both scoring a lot of goals. So Thuram is there, hopefully just to cover off Martinez, who I think is going to be a popular pick this week with him scoring so many goals. So hopefully Thuram is able to do a bit of damage against Salzburg. It was kind of a toss-up between him and Galeno on the wildcard, but I ended up going for Thuram. Galeno obviously has a much easier fixture this week with Antwerp, so we're going to be hoping that Thuram can outscore him, but I would be confident in that case. Obviously we might just be looking at Galeno's matchday 1 score and it's kind of clouding everyone's judgment, but yeah, I ended up going for Thuram. I wanted to triple up on Inter because I do think they're a much better team than Porto are, and I do think over the course of the group stage Thuram should do better than Galeno will. Then obviously with the strikers, we basically have two of them, what everyone's got, Kane and Haaland, the two probably most common captaincy choices for most weeks as well, with them playing on different days. And then we obviously have Kubo as well, who's 5 million and acting as another enabler in there. And then finally, looking at captaincies, as we were just saying, Kane will be the captaincy in match day 1, playing against Galatasaray away. Again, there is a big toss up between him and Bellingham, but I am going to go with Kane. I think you're free to kind of go for like a more differential captain because you do have the backup of Haaland on night 2. So if there's anyone you've got in your team that you're thinking they could easily do quite well, I think most people are going to be quite scared of Haaland as a captaincy in night 2. So if you do want to go for a differential captain and it doesn't work out, obviously you do have Haaland as a backup, but I'm just going to play it safe. I feel more comfortable captaining Kane than I do against Bellingham. They do both have away fixtures, and debatably you could say that Bellingham has the easier fixture as well, but I'm going to go with Kane on penalties, etc. I do think he has a higher chance of getting a big haul than Bellingham does, so going to go with Kane. If it doesn't work out, I do have Haaland as a backup. But that is going to wrap up this video. Again, not really too much to talk about. We are only making one transfer, one change from match day 2. Next week we will be doing the limitless chip, so it should be a bit more interesting. But that is the team going into match day 3. Let me know if you're making any big moves going into this week, and leave a like on the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe because we do this every week, and I'll see you all in the next video.